Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about a movie, MirrorMask, um, written by Neil Gaiman from the Jim Henson people, and directed by, one second, Dave McKinnon, or McKean. I saw this, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I rented it on DVD. I never got to see this in the theaters, and I wish I had, because I think seeing it on the big screen would have really increased its impact. But even on the small screen, this is an excellent film. At its heart, this is a story of a girl coming to grips with the changing relationship she has with her mother. Because every teen, regardless of gender, goes through that transition where they begin to rebel and they have to reestablish the relationship they had with their parents in a different way. We've all done it, at least all of us who made it through alive. And this story of Helena is written in two different backdrops, splashed up there in two different ways. The first backdrop is her family life in the real world, which is a circus. So it's not an ordinary family life. Her mother and father own and run a circus. She is one of the performers. They are both performers. And it's their job to entertain people. And so you can imagine going through that transitional period as a teen, and you're in the public eye, literally. So maybe the pressure on Helena is a little more than most. And she comes to grips with this, a coping mechanism, through drawing. She draws constantly. And she takes these pictures and she plasters them over the walls of her bedroom. And over time, she's put together an entire map, a universe in her bedroom. And that's the second backdrop for her story. The mirror world of her own creation. Now, Helena is played by Stephanie Leonidas, and an actress who I never encountered before this film. And she does an excellent job of playing that knife's edge between childhood and adulthood. And I think a lot of it was the timing, because they got her at the age where she herself was just leaving that stage, so the memories and the feelings and the experiences were still raw. And it really comes through, which is amazing, because a lot of the mirror world that she visits, or she gets thrown into and has to escape from, was done in CGI. So a lot of the time she's acting to nothing. She's in a green room with maybe one or two people talking to her and possibly no set of any kind. And trying to interact with all kinds of things that she cannot see. And the fact that she does it believably and in an entertaining manner is quite frankly amazing. Now, it's a Jim Henson production, so you can imagine it's from their company, so you can imagine that the visuals are outstanding, and they are. Now, the CGI work, this is from 2005, so it's not up to the current standards that maybe many people are used to with District 9 or Avatar. But the art style is so original and unusual that you never notice this. You were so captivated by the stylistic choices that they took in this film, the surreal nature of everything that she's interacting with, that you don't notice that the CGI isn't perfect. It's a visual feast. It is so much fun to watch. Now, I watched this quite recently with my wife to listen to the commentary track, because I had never listened to it. The commentary track is from Dave McKean, the director, and Neil Gaiman himself. And I'd never had a chance to actually listen to Neil Gaiman speak for any length of time, only little snippets on YouTube and things like that. And it was just so much fun to listen to these two talk about this movie. The nuts and the bolts, the artistic decisions, the things that went wrong, the things that went right, the things that they didn't think were going to go right, and they did. And it really enhanced my appreciation of the movie. Now, I want to watch it again just straight out now that I've listened to the commentary. I want to watch it again without the commentary so I can now see a new depth to the film. Now, one of the things I loved about this is that I didn't know any of the actors. I found that very refreshing. Just like in District 9, it allowed me to immerse myself in the storyline deeper because I wasn't being distracted by trying to associate the actors with other things they had done. And I realized that quite recently that's something that I do. I see someone and my brain's like, oh, where have I seen them before? Now, obviously, the big stars, that's easy to do. But even the smaller ones, that can distract me from the film because part of my brain is trying to figure out, where have I seen this person? So this film didn't have that. This film was just, it was just a joy to watch. And I had such a good time the first time I watched it, and I had such a good time this time with the commentary. I got this as part of a Jim Henson 3-pack. I got it off Amazon. It was like 15 bucks or something like that. I think I bought it used. And it was, I mean, it's Labyrinth, MirrorMask, and Dark Crystal, so you can't lose. Now, this was originally supposed to be a sequel to Labyrinth, but then Neil Gaiman got involved, and it became a beast in its own right. And I can't really recommend this highly enough. It's PG. It's got some slight scary imagery, but it might be some freaky out for some small kids, but it's not got any specific, violence. There's no swearing. There is a very mild subtext of a romantic relationship that Helena has with the character in the mirror world, but it's very sweet. It's very clean, and it was quite. I thought it was quite charming. So if you liked Labyrinth and you were looking at the end of that film, I want more of that. This is a little darker. All right, physically darker. I mean, it's not as bright and shiny as Labyrinth was, and the storyline is a little more light and dark because it's about reestablishing relationship with the parent. So it's not all lightness and sugar here. But it's an excellent film. I highly recommend it. And so if you haven't seen it, put it on your Netflix list.